Hello, everyone. I am glad you are here. So, tonight I want to talk about something I see constantly in high functioning adults, people who are intelligent, responsible, capable, but they're still operating smaller than they actually are. As someone who works closely with people navigating anxiety patterns, trauma responses, and high pressure environments, I can tell you this: most limitations are not about ability, they're about identity. High functioning does not mean fully expressed. Hold on. A lot of capable adults look confident on the outside, but internally, they're still operating from survival based patterns. And when I say survival based patterns, it looks like them second guessing themselves under pressure. They shrink themselves in rooms they belong in. They also will hesitate even when they know what to do. And all of that is not because they lack potential. It's because their identity was built around surviving, not expanding. So tonight, we're going to talk about the identity shift required to move from containment to being unlimited. Not motivation. Not motivation. Hey, Charvette. Not surface confidence. We're talking about identity reconstruction. So let's talk about survival identity. Most high functioning adults built strength early. And when I say early, they built strength, maybe you had to grow up fast as a child. You had to grow up fast. Maybe you became the responsible one. Maybe you learned that competence kept you safe. Maybe independence became your protection. And that identity worked. It helped you survive. But survival identities come with patterns. Over responsibility. I'm going to raise my hand for that. Hyper independence. I'm going to raise my hand for that again. Difficulty trusting yourself. I'm going to raise my hand on that one as well. Hey, Raylene. Needing reassurance. I myself will put 2 hands up for that because I'm very, very guilty of needing reassurance. Playing small to avoid visibility. And think of it like this: you're the smartest kid in the class. You know the answer. But you don't raise your hand because you don't want people to see you. That was me. I ask questions, but I very rarely raise my hand for the answers. Shrinking in powerful spaces. This is something I think a lot of us deal with. You know, you go to a networking event, big wigs are there. So what do? You go in there and you feel like you have this imposter syndrome. You see all these powerhouses. So what do? You shrink. You become the fly on the wall. Um, and so survival identities prioritize safety over expansion. These identities teach you to manage risk, not take up space. So what happens? You build competence. Competence is great. But competence without identity expansion leads to internal limitation. And this internal limitation, you know you're capable of more. But although you know you're capable of more, you don't fully step into it. And that gap, that's identity. How many of you know you're capable of more, but you still hesitate when it's time to fully step into it? I will raise my hand. I've done this plenty of times. And I'm not even going to lie. Sometimes I still do it. I still know I'm capable of so much more, but I hesitate. I hesitate to fully step into it. But again, it's coming from that survival identity. And so when you think about it, most people stop at awareness. They'll say things like, I know my patterns. I know where it comes from. I've processed it. I've said all of these things. I know where my patterns come from. I can pinpoint it. You know, I know I've processed it. I've worked through it. But awareness without realignment changes absolutely nothing. Nothing. You can intellectually understand yourself and still operate small. Let me be clear. I'm not talking about coping better tonight. I'm talking about identity reconstruction. Expansion requires 3 things: awareness, realignment, and continuity. When I say awareness, that's recognizing the patterns. Listen, all of us, I'm sure we've recognized our patterns somehow, somewhere, some way. We have recognized our patterns. Perfect. Then comes realignment. Choosing differently. You know the saying, you can't expect different results doing the same thing. So if you want more, but you keep falling into these patterns, how can you honestly expect a different result? That's where realignment is. It's actually choosing differently, changing the pattern. And then there comes continuity. Once you've chosen differently, now let's reinforce this identity until it stabilizes. Without continuity, you default back. So you got awareness, you're aware of it. Like, you recognize the patterns, you know where it comes from, and then you get to realignment. You're choosing differently. Cool, I'm gonna start making these choices. I'm gonna do differently. Think of it like this: New Year's resolutions. How many times do people make New Year's resolutions? I'm gonna do the easy one that most people do. Choosing a healthier lifestyle, losing weight, getting in better shape. Again, they became aware that, hey, I'm not in the best shape that I want to be. I don't look how I want. I could do better. And now they've hit realignment. They're choosing, okay, I'm going to hit the gym. I'm going to get a membership to the gym. I'm going to go to the gym 3 days a week. Cool. So they're in a realignment. But where they fall short is the continuity portion. They go to the gym, but it's like they're not doing anything to reinforce this new identity. They're not doing anything different. They go to the gym. They go to work. They go to the gym. They do this redundancy, but they're not doing anything to reinforce it. And that could look like, in the gym instance, it could look like you find you a accountability partner, someone who's going to call you and say, hey, you didn't come to the gym today. It could mean that you don't stick to a a routine that is your pattern. Change it up, change the days. Life happens, don't allow that to keep you from the gym. But you're doing things to make sure you're staying in the gym. I'll use myself as an example. I used, I was aware I needed to get into better shape, and I knew I needed to go to the gym. I was working out, but I didn't have a plan. I was like just doing it. I went to the gym and just did random exercises. Not helpful. So what did I do? I got someone who could give me a plan, tell me what it is I need to do. And I have an accountability coach. I even have like my son, I have him go with me. Hey, you want to go to the gym with me? So now not only am I choosing differently, but I'm also using continuity by reinforcing this new identity for myself. And I didn't allow my two full-time jobs to become a barrier. So instead, I go to the gym 10 or 11 o'clock at night during the week. Most people are like, that's crazy. But I'm like, guess what? I'm choosing differently, so I'm doing things differently. And if I can go earlier, I go. So that's where continuity comes. That's why confidence collapses under pressure, because it was performance, not identity. You went to the gym because that's what everyone does on New Year's resolutions. They go to the gym. The gym is packed. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm gonna show people I'm going to change myself. But it wasn't really for you. It was for this performance of putting, what you wanted people to see of you, I guess. But you have to want it for yourself. I want this change for myself. So I'm choosing continuity and doing other things to reinforce my choice to do different. Now, when I say unlimited, I don't mean reckless. I mean internally unrestricted. Unlimited means you trust yourself under pressure. I actually work really well under pressure. I actually might work better under pressure. You make decisions without constant validation. That is one area I think a lot of us fall in, is needing validation from others. And that's where I was for a very long time, until I hit a point where I'm like, no, I don't need other people to tell me what I should be doing, what I ought to be doing. I'm going to do things that I feel align with my values, feel aligned with where I want to go, with who I am. Unlimited means you stop shrinking in rooms you belong in. I'm not going to lie, this one I am working on. Because, we're used to being around people that are like us. So when we go into a room with, other executives or other CEOs or Fortune 500 companies, we start to feel like, oh, do I belong here? Nope. Unlimited means you absolutely belong here. Unlimited means you stop waiting for permission. And I think this is the biggest step, is not needing permission. It's hilarious. I'm going to reference this Charvette. So Miss Charvette is putting together a book. I don't know how much I can say, but this is one of the big things, is permission. And sometimes we don't even realize it's not permission from others we need. It's from ourselves. Giving ourselves permission to not need permission from other people. You don't need permission from other people. But also, unlimited is not ego. It's not ego. It's self-trust. It's boldness rooted in alignment. Yes, permission granted. I'm glad you said it. Permission granted. I'm so excited for the book, y'all. I don't even know if I'm supposed to say that, but I couldn't help it. It's walking into a space and knowing I can do and be anything I want. And I do mean anything. Not because someone hyped you up, but because you rebuilt your identity to support it. That's liberation. And that saying of I can do and be anything I want is basically, in a nutshell, my mantra in life. No matter where you are currently, no matter where you grew up, no matter what life circumstances have thrown out at you, that does not change that you can do and be anything you want. Anything you want. Man, let me tell you, growing up, people used to tell me that I was gonna amount to a whole lot of nothing. just because of what I was born into. But guess what? I decided early on that that was not my story. That was not my truth. And I made sure it wasn't my truth. And here I am now. Graduate level, master's level degree, a therapist, children, military. I said I can do and be anything I want, and you better believe I'm going to keep doing that. As should you. And it's liberating when you can look at the naysayers and be like, now what? Now what? This is exactly why I created ARC. And if you remember from earlier, ARC stands for awareness, recognizing your patterns, realignment, choosing differently, and continuity. It reinforcing this new identity till it stabilizes. Awareness, realignment, continuity. So ARC, it's a 90-day personal liberation experience for high-functioning adults who are ready to expand beyond survival patterns. This is not therapy. I know I am a therapist. Love being a therapist. Trauma-informed, love it. But this is not therapy. And this is not surface level motivation. I am sorry, but we are not keeping it surface level. It's structured identity expansion. So inside ARC, we focus on pattern recognition, which I think a lot of us are really good at. We can recognize our patterns. Identity recalibration. Some get this, some don't. Weekly realignment work, because trust me, life be lifing, and sometimes we can stumble. Embodied confidence, true confidence, not surface level confidence, but confidence deep in your soul. And continuity so the change holds. By the end of ARC, it's not about feeling better. It's about standing differently, operating differently, thinking differently, knowing differently. So who is ARC for? If you're listening to this and you're like, is this the right experience for me? You're capable, but you're operating smaller than your potential. You're responsible, but tired of second guessing yourself. You've built strength. You are one strong woman, man. You are a strong person. But now you want expansion. This is not for someone looking to be motivated. Listen, there are a lot of things out there, a lot of groups, a lot of whatever out there. Hoo-hoo, rah-rah motivation. It's not what this is. It's for someone who's ready to reconstruct their identity. Someone who's ready to walk into their full potential, unapologetically, boldly, loudly, however that looks for you. But you're ready to move past surviving. You're ready to move past pushing through. Listen, I am the queen of push through. I will push through like, oh, it's all right. I'm a keep going. I'm gonna keep going. That's another indication of survival, is you just push through and just make it to the next day. That's what you do. And so if any of this resonated with you, comment resonate. You don't lack potential. You lack an identity that fully supports your expansion. If you know you've outgrown survival, if you're ready to stop shrinking, listen, You deserve to be in the spotlight. You deserve it. Yes, Raylene, you deserve it. If you're ready to move from contained to unlimited, again, remember, unlimited does not mean reckless. Ready to move into unlimited. ARC begins March 6th. So excited. And so, and this is an experience that is just not open to the masses because that's not my goal. My goal is not just to have quantity. I'm sorry, but it's not. I want this to truly be an experience. I want you, even though in a group setting, I want you to feel like you're the only person in the room. But at the same time, remembering that you have a whole community that is on this journey with you, that wants to see you succeed, that you want others to succeed, that you don't have to do this alone. Listen, life is not meant to be done alone. It's not. Listen, I used to think I don't need nobody. I can do it all by myself. I'm a strong, independent woman, which I am. But that does not mean we don't need a community. And that's literally what I'm trying to create. I'm trying to create a community within an experience. And so this isn't, I don't have unlimited tickets. I have 15 regular tickets. When I say regular, it's like you get the 90-day group experience or the group sessions. But I'm going to also do 5 VIP expansion spots. And basically the difference between the two is, obviously VIP, you're going to have one-on-one access to me. We are going to get down to the nitty-gritty. We are going to lay out everything for you. And again, we are going to do that during the weekly sessions, but sometimes you need a little bit more intimate connection. And I love that. And of course, I know the one thing people ask is, the investment. If you want to do just come to the sessions, which when I say just come to the sessions, it's not going to be just come to the sessions. It's going to be fire. It's going to be bold. It's going to be transformative. That's $497 for the full 90 days. And the VIP is $997. So again, you get the 90 days, you get 2 weekly one-on-one sessions, and access to me in between as well. Confidence is built through action. Expansion begins with decision. You've outgrown survival. The only question is whether you're ready to expand. And if you're ready to expand and you're like, yes, I am tired of just surviving, I have pinned the link in the comment section that will take you directly to the ARC page where you can claim your space. And that is huge. And that's why it's not just enroll now, because it's not about that. Claim your space. We need to start claiming our space. So again, the only question, are you ready to expand? Have a good night.